something you'll be interested in. Those performance upgrades we discussed after the last race. They're on the car and the data looks promising. Take a look at the details.
Hello everyone, Chris Gaming here and welcome back to another video. We're back now with the F1 2016 career mode with round 7 of the championship here at the Canadian Grand Prix, and I'm looking forward to this one. I think Montreal is going to be quite a good circuit for us. You can see on the left, a couple of teams bringing some upgrades. Sauber brought a couple of upgrades, quite surprising actually to see them bring some upgrades, as well as Mercedes, which is not what people wanted to see. They bought a good few upgrades to this race, so they're going to be a lot more competitive. Sauber are going to start to climb it a little bit, so we've got to hope that everything can run smoothly for us. And the practice sessions it did, we ended up getting all the points that we needed. You can just see there, just bagging the final few, and that's off tally. So let's have a look at some qualifying goals.
Hi, how are you? I'm just passing on your qualifying goals for this weekend.
There are qualifying goals. Qualified 10th or higher, beat Sebastian Vettel, and beat Romain Grosjean. Hopefully we can do that. I'm saving up for a downforce upgrade for the next race in Baku, because that's going to be a difficult one, I can tell you that much. But on to qualifying. Everyone had their eyes on Canada, waiting for the qualifying session to start. It was clear that under the bright sunny skies, at least at the moment, everything looked to shape up to be a very interesting qualifying session. And it didn't disappoint. There were several strugglers and several people who did very well. Raikkonen was one of the people who struggled, ending up 14th, but Vettel was only 8th. Ferrari struggling very badly. Well, Toro Rosso was a story of two halves, with Daniel Kvyat in P9 and Carlos Sainz in P19. Daniel Kvyat out-qualifying the Spaniard for one of the few times this season, but really showing him up at the Montreal circuit. Hamilton laid down the early markers with a 1:13 flat, and the Master of Montreal seemingly looked to have a very good lap in for the qualifying session ahead. However, that was later beaten by the Haas driver. He ended up, for momentarily, a provisional pole position, just dipping into the 1:12 12s. And he said, after the qualifying session, it was one of the best laps he felt he'd ever done in his short career. But Nico Rosberg showed the true pace of Mercedes and went 6 tenths quicker than both himself and between him and Lewis Hamilton. So he took his 4th pole position of the season.
Hey, how are you? I have some information on the race goals you should keep in mind.
So now we have our race goals. After qualifying in a brilliant 2nd place, we now have finish 7th or higher, beat Vettel and beat Grosjean. Now, that's what the team want me to do, but what I want to do, this is just me personally, if I can defend well enough and I can jump everyone into turn 1, then I want to try and win this race if I can. And we have now got that downforce upgrade ready for Baku.
There is, as I look out of my commentary box window, a very large and very excited crowd here today, eagerly anticipating another memorable race. Lewis Hamilton took his maiden win on this circuit in 2007. Jenson Button came from last place to win here in 2011. And there's certainly no shortage of drama on offer here at the Canadian Grand Prix. If you want flat-out racing, you've come to the right place this weekend, as it's full throttle for 59% of this 2.7-mile circuit, peaking at around 210 miles per hour going into the final chicane. But that speed requires discipline, and there are more than a few close walls here just waiting to punish drivers with a heavy right foot. It's a favourite for fans and drivers alike then here in Canada. We're used to seeing the unexpected happen here, and with me today to enjoy it all is Anthony Davidson, a man who knows firsthand the surprises that can pop up in this race.
I do indeed. I had a good chance at some points here in 2007, but unfortunately it wasn't meant to be. My old colleague Takuma Sato, though, he managed to finish 6th, so the team took home 3 valuable points, and that was a big boost to everyone at the time. I'm not sure I can think of anywhere else that so consistently provides the kind of late race excitement we get here. Obviously, towards the end of the Grand Prix, the brakes are getting worn, maybe the weather situation has changed, so there's a lot to keep fighting for all the way up to that final corner.
You should have some space going into the first corner, so try to keep it tidy.
Right, so we're on the grid now for the Canadian Grand Prix. This could be a very important Grand Prix for us if we can get it right. Lights out, and away we go for the start of the Canadian Grand Prix. Pretty good start off the line. Rosberg sluggish, and we get the ideal starting place right now at the front of the field. Now it is time to hold this position and just go flat out to the end of this Grand Prix. We have got to try now. We are in this position to win this race. We have no option to try and maybe fight back a little bit in the championship. We're watching to the end of lap 1. We managed to hold our position over Hamilton and Rosberg. Perez battling here with the manner of Pascal Verheilen. And did he glitch out? What's happened? What was that glitch? I don't even know. He just stopped in the middle of the circuit. But regardless of that, we move back on to our point of view. The yellow flags just came up for a second for a car behind us. Hamilton! Lewis Hamilton is out of the race! That is pretty terrible for him. His bad luck to 2016 continues, and there you go. Slams into the wall. No, nothing. I don't think Verstappen had anything to do with this. Just Hamilton. He's gone too fast, too ambitious, and he's driven into the wall. That triggered the virtual safety car. We're just waiting now for the green flag. And there it is. Ideal timing for us as we go through the final chicane. Bit of a corner cut there. Rightfully, we get a warning, but we get a bit of a gap now over Nico Rosberg. So we have to now push the car as hard as we can to try and gap Nico and just generally have a bit more of a comfortable lead. However, the sad thing is that the rest of this race just showed a few of the problems F1 2016 has. Like this exploit. I am not joking when I say if you turn the pit assist on, it's a bit annoying coming out of the pits, but if you turn the pit assist on, the old tactic of just flying into the pit lane at God knows how many miles an hour, that's still fine. You can still do that, and you can still not lose too much time. It's really sad when Codemasters implement a system and then have an assist that basically there's just a loophole in their little mechanic. That's sad. What was sadder was what was to come later on in the race. Nothing else happened. We just defended massively from Rosberg, Verstappen, and now Vettel was moving into the mix as well. And here comes Nico Rosberg now on lap 16 of 18. He moves to the left-hand side. We're leaving the space, and he just charges through into the lead. But we are being called into the pits for some reason. I don't know why. There's no need for a second stop. My tyres are fine. I mean, there's no need to use another set of tyres. I've used 2 compounds in this race. Well, that's just perfect, isn't it? Now I have to use another set of tyres. I have to pit, or I'm going to get disqualified. So I basically pit and lose a lot of points, or get disqualified and lose all the points. Unbelievable. I can't believe this has happened. And now Rosberg squeezed me into the wall. He's actually just... At least had the decency to leave you room. But there we are. You can even see there. That pit assist exploit I was talking about earlier. I was speeding going in. I was doing 54 instead of 50. But frankly, I was just fed up with this race at this point. But so there we are, through the final chicane. We got the run on Felipe Massa. And we just outdrag him to the line for a very miserable P8.
So, another fantastic victory for the Silver Arrows. Anthony, what do you think made the difference here?
Well, I'd say it's just raw pace, plain and simple. I mean, we could sit here and talk about strategy all day, the overtaking, looking after the tyres, but at the end of it all, if you want to win, you need a package that's got the speed over everyone else, and that's exactly what they had today.
So as I say that, we can see the drivers coming out now to collect their trophies. It's yet more silverware to take back to their base in Brackley after another excellent Grand Prix. And now let's take a look at the driver's standings. It wasn't the best weekend for our championship leader, and their advantage at the top has been reduced. Moving on to the driver of the day then. Anthony Davidson, who would you go for?
It's a tough one, Crofty, but on balance, I think I'd go for Nico Rosberg. Quality stuff from start to finish.
And here's how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Ferrari extend their lead at the top of the championship. There'll be plenty more twists and turns to come this season. I hope you can join us at the next race to see just who will come out on top.
I can't believe that's just happened. This is, I'm just telling you now, I'm switching to live commentary, I'm going to say it in the freaking post-commentary after this. I am so annoyed right now. How? How do you do this? Would Codemasters like a look at the rulebook of Formula 1? Because 3 tyre compounds are used for a whole weekend, okay? In a race, you use 2, not 3. And you do not get set to the preset ones in a strategy do not determine the tyres that you have to use. I have nothing. I'm going to be honest right now. I've flashbacked a lot of things in this series to have a second attempt at them. This one, there was nothing I could do. I wasn't going to restart the race, and the game has legitimately just screwed me out of this. Nothing to do with the team, car, and I say that as though it's actual real life. It isn't, but it's still a game. But this one was a legitimate game glitch, and well. If there's a long break before Baku, then you know why. So yeah, you can kind of tell that I was very cross and very, very upset at that. These are basic things that really aren't that difficult. You have 3 tyre compounds. You have a penalty that obviously you give to them. That you give them a penalty if they don't use 2 of the 3 tyre compounds available. So how? I don't even know how these things mess up.
So the board and I have been talking about your contract. And we all agree, the only thing better than a number 2 driver is a number 1 driver. Here are the details.
I mean, that's a little consolation, I guess. We've been promoted to first driver, so we get extra resource and development points now for the future, but what do you do? What do you do when the game just? I was probably going to win that race. I ended up 4th. I lost 21 points because of a game glitch. Luckily, this is the last video I am making of at least this today, because this is obviously post commentary. And after this, I'm off on holiday for a few days, so I thought I'd just leave that in at the end of the video. So, videos are done, luckily, for the Friday, Saturday, Sunday that I'm away. But, just basically, if I'm quiet through social media, that's why, basically. I haven't got enough time to look and answer comments or tweets or anything. But, I'll do it for this video, I guess. I'm drained right now. I have no words. But, hopefully, Baku can be a much better race, and I'll see you then. Goodbye.